Yuma, you brought up something earlier that I completely forgot about. It was before my time, but I remember hearing about it. It's the SoCalPro house.
Oh yeah.
Tell me, give the listeners, pull the curtain back a little bit. What was up with that house?
So the SoCalPro house was probably one of the most fun and insane times of my life. My family had actually lost our house, and I had lived there since 1990. This was 2012. I'd found out that we were going to be losing the house, and Anita, my wife, then girlfriend, was living with me. And I was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, I was only wrestling at the time. She worked at a restaurant in Mission Valley. And I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. And then we were like, well, Nick Lovin has a house. He's got that house in Solana Beach. But then we were like, the rooms are all full. And they were like, well, Eddie Randall just moved into the workshop in the back. And I was like, and Nick was like, come swing by. If you come look at the space, if you can figure something out, of course you guys are welcome, So we go over there. Now, Nick Lovin, a.k.a. Beasley, which is actually he's a.k.a. Nick Lovin. He inherited this gorgeous old beach home in Solana Beach at the top of the hill. It was worth like $1.5 million. Just gold. It's just an older home. He didn't take too good a care of it, but it was still great. And his grandma was a world champion basket weaver. Someone described her to Nick as the Hulk Hogan of basket weaving. So she was big time, and she had an entire workshop in the backyard. And so this big workshop that's literally like apartment size, it's long, it's one floor, it's 2/3 workspace, 1/3 tool room. And Eddie Randall had just moved in, and I said, hey, Eddie Randall, my girlfriend and I need to move in. I will pay your rent and do all the work of building the wall between us if you move into the smaller 1/3 so my other human and I can have the bigger. And Randall said, no. And I said, brother, we're kind of going through it right now. You sure? I'm going to pay your rent. I'll build the wall between us. I'll help you clean out the tool room. Cause there was a workbench in there. There was a sink. There was like all kinds of stuff. And he just went, nah, I got here first. And I was like,
to handle.
I was like, exactly. Too hot to handle. I was like, all right, bro, if it's like that, it's like that. So my girlfriend, Anita, moved into the 8x11 tool room, basically a prison cell. We built a wall, a soundproof. We shut the opening between us and Randall. So Randall had this giant space all to himself, and Anita and I were living in basically a glorified hallway. But you know what? It was fun, man. Like I said, Renee and I, we did cardio. We always got up first. We did cardio every morning at 7. We would watch 45 minutes of a pay-per-view because at the time I still had my really, really big tape collection. Every morning he would ride the bike. I would walk on the treadmill. We would go our separate ways. Gradually, Big Duke would wake up. Eddie Randall would wake up. Nick Lovin would wake up. Finn lived there. Now, Finn, we didn't know. That was one of Nick Lovin's friends. But Finn ended up living with us after. We lived with Finn for a long time. He's a great guy. But I met him moving in there. But it was great. We'd do cardio, go our separate ways, have breakfast, whatever. Anita might go to work. And then we would all go to the gym. All of us, even stupid Nick. We would drag his skinny ass to the gym. And I tell you what, man, Nick would work hard. If the less people that were there, the harder Nick would work. Once it was all of us, we'd be screwing around. But the best part was Duke would not lift with us. Duke was so embarrassed of how just dumb and stupid we looked. I would be lifting in moccasins. Randall would have like he had like a Walkman or something. I just remember he had something weird with him. And then, Nick Lovin just looks like Nick Lovin. So Duke would go do his cardio while we lifted, and he would go back and lift later, like without us sometimes. Or he would just be like, what are you guys hitting today? And we'd be like, oh, legs. He's like, all right, I'm doing back. And then he would just, we'd all finish at the same time. We would go straight to the Vons. We'd buy a bunch of meat, and then we would grill and just party every single day. And, and then on the days we had shows, we would all roll together. Training. I was a trainer at SoCalPro at the time. So we would just fill the car and, I would go teach and then we'd go back to the house, party, wake up, do it again. It was some of the most fun I've ever had.